Everyone. For those of you who joined a little bit later, my name is Shai-Andre Divon. I'm the head of the Department of International Environment and Development Studies, Noragric. I'm also an associate professor at the Department, associate professor of Global Security, Democracy, and Rights. Welcome day for our new cohort of master and bachelor students is always a very exciting day for us. This year, this welcome day is very different and special. It is the first time ever that we practice a virtual welcome for our new students. We usually gather our new cohort in a room. We get to see you in person, present most of our staff and that you will be meeting in classrooms. We usually prepare interesting content for the day, a panel discussion on a contemporary or relevant issue. And we usually gather both on international students and Norwegian students in a room for the first time, and you get to meet and interact with each other, as well as meet and interact with staff. This year we operate under strict restriction we enforced due to the global COVID-19 pandemic. There are several implications of that, and the most important one is that not all of our students were able to come over to Norway. This is especially true to our, in regards to our international students. One of the main characteristics of our department is that our staff and students are international, and that is what has always made us, made our department special and distinct at this university. So, but here we are, welcome you virtually at this point in time, and hoping that in the near future we will be able to present, to be present physically on campus and run classes and interaction in a normal face-to-face fashion. I have a small presentation right now. For some of you, this is the first time at the university, and for many of you, maybe it is or it's going to be the first time in Norway. For us, the academic and administrative staff, it is the beginning of a new exciting academic year, and we are all happy and thrilled to welcome our new students who will be spending the next 2 to 3 years with us, for now on virtual spaces, but very soon on campus and in classrooms. This year, over 100 new students from many different countries confirmed that they will be joining our programs. I know that there are at least 45 different countries represented at NMBU this year, and many of those are represented at Noragric who participate in our programs. The competition for seats at our department is always very high, and our staff evaluates over 1,000 applications across our 4 programs. You guys represent those who made the cut, and we are very happy that you chose our department for your academic studies, and we are looking forward to interact with you over the course of the next few years. In the next 10 minutes or so, I want to tell you something about us, the department, our history, and what we do in our research, as our academic programs are firmly anchored in the empirical work that our staff conducts across disciplines and around the globe. And after that, our head of education and the different heads of programs will introduce themselves and welcome you to the programs. So if we can move to the next slide, the history of our department. So as you all know by now, we are the Norwegian University of Life Sciences, NMBU, and the university mandate is to address major global challenges linked to the environment, sustainable development, human and animal health, climate change, renewable energy, food production, and governance of land and natural resources. This is the official mandate. Next slide, please. The overarching mission of our university is to contribute to the well-being of the planet through interdisciplinary research and generate through study programs innovations in food health, environmental protection, climate, and sustainable use of natural resources. Next one. Our department is part of the Faculty of Landscape and Society, presented to you by the Dean that you just saw on a video. Usually we gather in a room and the Dean presents herself physically to all students, but this year, as you all know, it's not possible. We have 5 departments at the faculty. Our department, Noragric, which is the largest department at the faculty. We have urban and regional planning, property and law, landscape architecture, and public health. Next slide. As you saw in the video, our department is located at the Tivoli building. This is where most staff is present. It is a beautiful historical building, central on campus, and we hope to see you in the building soon. I want to tell you something about the history of the department so you know where you are. The next slide, please. The pre-Noragric stage in our history starts in the 1970s when the Norwegian Development Agency, NORAD, established an office at NLH. NLH stands for the Agricultural University College of Norway, which is the original incarnation of this university. The purpose of establishing this office was for NORAD to be close to and make use of the knowledge and experience in agriculture located at NLH, and to inform development programs and projects in what was known then as third world countries. In 1986, Noragric was established as a center at NLH. The formal name was the Norwegian Center for International Agricultural Development. This is the essence of our acronym that we've kept even though our name changed. The initial mandate of the center was to further develop the institutional collaboration between NLH, government entities involved in development assistance, and other institutions in Norway engaged in development aid and agricultural assistance. The center was intended to be an umbrella organization for institutions engaged in development aid covering research, education, consultancies, public planning, and management. In terms of education, Noragric provided support for students for developing countries to attend courses and programs in Norway, mainly at NLH. And in 1986, NLH also established a master program in management of natural resources and sustainable agriculture, the MNRSA program, which became the responsibility of Noragric. The MNRSA program was an innovative contribution at the time of its creation. The program was interdisciplinary, combining a range of natural and social sciences in attempts to understand some of the dynamic mechanism for sustainable development, with emphasis on tropical countries. In 2002, a new master program in development studies was launched at Noragric. This program was, or explored more in depth the various social, political, and economic aspects of development while still relating human development to ecological opportunities and constraints. In 2005, the Agricultural University College of Norway, NLH, was transformed to UMB, the Norwegian University of Life Sciences, which is the current English name of the university, though the acronym UMB has changed since to NMBU due to a merger with the Veterinary College in Oslo. But in 2005, when NLH became UMB, Noragric became a full-fledged department at the university. As a part of this transition, Noragric established a bachelor program in development studies, which became very popular and also formed the foundation for students who wanted to continue with a variety of master programs, including global studies, development studies, environmental studies, and international relations. This bachelor program is called today the Bachelor of International Environment and Development Studies, and we have a number of students present here today, I hope, on this webinar from this program. The head of the program is also the head of education at Noragric, and this is Lars Kåre Grimsby, who will be presenting himself a bit later. Starting in 2007, the MNRSA program was transformed to the current Master in International Environmental Studies. And the master program in development studies, known today as Master in Global Development Studies, and this is to expand the scope for management of natural resources to a more comprehensive study of complex challenges that lie between environmental issues, governance, politics, development, etc. The head of the Master of International Environmental Studies, Professor Erik Gomez-Bagatun, will be presenting himself a bit later. And the head of the Global Development Studies program, Professor Morten Jeven, who sits here behind me, will be presenting himself and the program a little bit later. The most recent addition to our education portfolio occurred in 2010, when Noragric opened the very popular Master in International Relations. The current head of the program is Professor Stig Jarle Hansen, who is also present on Zoom, and he will be presenting the program and himself a little bit later. We go for the next slide, please. To summarize our academic journey, we began in agricultural sciences, moved through natural resource management to development and environment, and expanded to peace, conflict, security, and international relations. Next slide. Which, as you are going to discover during your studies, these programs together are intimately linked. The subjects are closely linked together. Look at them together allows us to better observe, analyze, explain, and sometimes suggest solutions for a variety of global challenges. Next slide. So we've mentioned our 4 programs, or should I say 5 programs if I count the PhD program. So a quick summary: Bachelor of International Environment and Development Studies, Master of International Environmental Studies, Master of Global Development Studies, Master of International Relations, and a PhD in International Environment and Development Studies. And I also told you at the beginning that our programs are anchored in experience and empirical research of our staff, and their work that they continuously conduct around the world. So what I just want to mention quickly and show you quickly is how we are organized in terms of research. Can you move to the next slide, please? Our academic staff relates to 4 research clusters. These clusters are dynamic. Staff members are member in more than one cluster. But these clusters gather in them types of subjects and thematics that are usually closely linked. So just to illustrate you very quickly the types of themes, not everything is included here, but let's look at the CCAD. If we look at the next slide, the cluster for climate change and agricultural development, you'll find subjects such as agroecology, plant and livestock sciences, farming methods, environmental impact of agriculture, adaptation and mitigation of climate change, livelihood security, food systems and food security, agricultural biodiversity, agricultural policies and trade. The next slide. The cluster for environmental governance, you will find topics like political ecology, new institutional economics, political economy, resource regimes, livelihood and household economy, resilience and vulnerability, discourses and narrative. The next slide. In the cluster for rights and power in development, RAPID, you will find subjects such as environmental politics and rights to resources, marginalized and indigenous people rights, land and water rights, land acquisitions, social environmental conflicts, gender issues, labor, and so on. And next slide, the cluster for conflict, human security and development, you'll find subjects such as human rights, resource conflicts, negotiations and discourses, interventions in security as environment, and so on. And while every cluster feature or focus, the issues are, as you can see, closely interlinked and they cut across. We can stop screen sharing for now. I yield my time to the leader and coordinator of Noragric education and the heads of the various study programs. I want to say a few words to you about your journey. Now it is how it will be in normal times. I hope that this pandemic will be over soon so we can go back to normality, whatever normality will be when the pandemic is over. We are not sure how it will exactly be. But something about studying in Norway. So some of you are Norwegians, some know this country. For others, it's going to be the first time in this country. For those of you who have never been here, while winters in this country can be hard, Norway is a very comfortable country and it provides many benefits that allow students to focus on their studies. It's a tuition-free country, and there are loans and stipends available for students, and we have an excellent social welfare system here. If you plan your time here carefully, you will have a unique opportunity to make the utmost of your studies. So try to be present and participate in classes, read the literature, participate in forums and activities available in and off campus, and make sure you benefit from this opportunity. We also have here the most beautiful campus in Norway. You saw it a little bit on the video introduced by the Dean. Our campus is rural, it's calm, it's spacious, yet it's very close to Oslo. And you should try to enjoy the atmosphere and this unique, that this unique place provides. We also offer here unique interdisciplinarity. International and multicultural environment, especially at our department. Our department is the most international and most diverse on campus. We host students from all over the world with different experiences, from different cultures and from different backgrounds. This is an opportunity for each of you to closely interact over the next few years with people that are not from your usual environments. This is in itself a very amazing learning experience. and it can provide you with opportunities you've never imagined. Be aware of that and get to know each other beyond your specific program. But also remember that you are students at a very active, a very socially active university. And while you should remember to focus on your studies, and I hope you will focus on your studies and make the most out of this, you should also remember to have fun and to enjoy those years. This is all from me for now. I'll give the floor back to Lars Kåre.
Thank you, Shai. That was excellent. So my name is Lars Kåre. I'm the leader of education. That means I coordinate the 4 study programs at Noragric, 1 bachelor and 3 master's program. And we now have 136 participants in this webinar, and that should be about all the new students that start this semester. So slightly above 50 bachelor students, and then you'll have to do the math to figure out how many masters we should have here. Welcome everyone. I look really forward to see you in online classrooms, on campus when time comes. In this particular session, I'll focus on the bachelor program because I'll be the program leader for the bachelor program, and we'll have presentations by the program leaders of master's programs. But I just want to say, before saying a little bit about the bachelor program, that you will be getting answers to all your questions when the classes start tomorrow. So save your questions, note them now. There will be a digital startup week now, and I hope you will participate in that. There will also be campus-based activities, and there is plenty of information about that on the web pages. We also have student representatives that will say a few words about that later from the Buddy organization. And I think many of you have already participated in the introduction week, which was last week, and I hope that was working well with the Norwegian classes and classes on how it is to live in Norway and so on. So I hope that was rewarding. Now a few words about the bachelor program. Welcome. Welcome to be engaged in and learn about and act on perhaps humanity's 2 greatest challenges, climate change and inequality. Welcome to become part of Noragric, a department where staff and students engage in interdisciplinary studies on a wide range of issues concerning poverty, livelihoods, gender, property rights, environmental management, conflict, peace building, and post-conflict, and development in sub-Saharan Africa, South and Southeast Asia, and South America. But to an increasing extent, we see that change also has to happen in the global north. And I think this cohort of students will, or that you embody an engagement in what is happening there. An engagement with regards to climate change, stemming from the campaigns the last couple of years fronted by Greta Thunberg. As students on campus, you will be part of an environment where you can act on your engagement. You can meet students with the same mindsets, but also mindsets that perhaps challenge your perspectives on the world. So together we can turn the classroom into an arena where ideas can be shared and debated. We can learn from the past when rethinking systems and society for the future. But this will not be easy. I'll give you one very concrete example of how our research can look like. So I'm working on energy and development. We know that about 3 billion people in the world use traditional energy for cooking, firewood and charcoal. So that makes about 7% of the global total primary energy supply. We know that 2.2 to 3.6 million people die from poor indoor air quality from cooking. And this is why ensuring access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all is a sustainable development goal on the United Nations agenda, goal number 7. Until now, COVID-19 has taken 740,000 lives. This is extremely dramatic. How often do we hear that cooking with firewood in open fireplace takes about 3 million lives every year? Not that often. So what can we do? What can you do to be part of solving this problem? Well, one example, I'm participating in the research project going on in Tanzania, where we look at clean gas for cooking. So by substituting firewood with gas, you can improve the indoor air quality, and there are lots of technical solutions that are available for this. Another benefit would be that forests and biodiversity that is under pressure in the global south would be relieved of that pressure. The problem, however, is that LPG, or cooking gas, is a fossil fuel. That's a conundrum. And that's the kind of challenge, the problem that we at Noragric are set at addressing. There are no silver bullets to development. There are solutions, and these need to be debated and researched. So we collaborate, people from NMBU with Liverpool, University of Liverpool, with the University of Dar es Salaam, with Cicero, and we look at how this solution could work out and what the consequences would be for impact on climate change. And as students at Noragric, you will be the first to hear the results, because we will bring this research into the classroom. And this was only one little story. Imagine how 35, 40 staff at Noragric sharing their research will look like over the next few years. As students at Noragric, you are encouraged to study abroad. This might sound a little bit silly, because now we want you to be here badly, but as a student at Noragric, you have the possibilities of going for Erasmus exchange. You can participate in our field course. This is an image from a field course in India in January this year. And we know that these journeys, together with scholars, together with researchers, looking at projects, looking at how research is being conducted in the field, are extremely rewarding for our students. So we hope that you will participate in one or more of these courses and the opportunity of exchange. This is just to illustrate what courses we have at in the bachelor program. And just skimming through the list there, we won't go through all the courses, but you can see that there is a large variety in what you will study. Development is about so many things. Sustainability is about the social, the economic, the natural world that we live in. In order to grasp this, to understand the complexity, you will be taking courses in everything from economy to ecology, which will, I hope, be extremely rewarding for all of you. You also have the possibility of taking electives from all other faculties at NMBU, which would allow you to focus more on ecology, for example, or economics, if that turns out to be interesting. You'll meet a couple of these guys tomorrow. Marianne is up in the left-hand corner here, Marianne Mossberg. She's a PhD candidate and teaches the introductory course for the bachelor students. In the lower right-hand corner, we have Noah Mendoza from Mexico, who is also part in convening the introductory course. The other lecturers you will meet as you go along in the course. And I ask you to, as I've said before, save your questions for tomorrow's lecture. Those of you who will attend on campus, this will be in the UR building in 224 from 10:15. You'll get all the information you need there. This was basically what I had to say about the bachelor program. Welcome again. And Morten, would you like to say a few words about the masters?
Yeah. but I'm happy to welcome you all as one of the chairs of one of the 3 master programs here at Noragric. And as you've already heard from the introductions by head of department and head of education, we have solid foundations in offering these 3 carefully selected master degrees: Global Development Studies, International Relations, and International Environmental Studies. And I will also, although one of my students in Global Development Studies, and Stig's students in International Relations, and Eric's students in International Environmental Studies might think about themselves as doing something distinct and separate, I encourage you to think of yourself as a group of students that are pursuing a common goal through 3 different kinds of avenues. And many of you will find that you started up thinking about global temperatures and carbon quotas, and end up starting in environmental studies, but then realizing that this is something you need to study by studying the exchange of global politics and discussing carbon quotas, or you might up ending up looking at studying of how this changes household dynamics in a river-dependent community in Nepal, and thereby going back to development studies. So we have these 3 arms of specialized knowledge in order to tackle these global, interdisciplinary, cross-disciplinary problems. And therein lies the challenge of being a student of this particular thing as well. You have to specialize while also you diversify. You have to stand on the legs of many types of knowledge, many types of expertise, and then narrowing out your own special contribution to this. And I think you should think about your studies going forward as doing these 2 things simultaneously. So one part is that you are, as a master student, you are between bachelor and PhD, if you like. So you're on this, you're not only reading textbooks, but you're taking a deeper dive into how knowledge is being created, how it's being generated, and you're becoming a curator of, a critical curator of expertise and knowledge on these massive global problems that we are studying. And therefore, in particular, I think in this kind of age of, well, fake news and knowledge under attack, so we have this kind of growing tension between a need for navigating very complex problems at the same time that the expertise that itself is under attack and getting politicized. And so therefore this kind of ability to navigate and become a curator of global knowledge on these issues is one of these, what we want to embrace in terms of specializing in interdisciplinarity. At the same time, you should have an open mind and also have this idea that you need to be a specialist in something, and that is where you, at the end race, when you are doing the master thesis. And so keep finding out what you want to do, what you want to specialize in, and then pursue that goal while keeping an open mind. So I would like you to welcome the students of Global Development Studies. The main thing you will be doing during this year, together with your elective subjects, is of course the introduction to development theory and EDS 305, which is handled by John McNeish. But before that, I will take you through EDS 201, where I will introduce you to global development studies and talk further on these issues. But also during this course, and I encourage you to take a look at the syllabus, where you find all the times, the meeting times. We'll also get a generalized introduction to how it is to be a student at NMBU and to handle all the practical issues. And also we give you an introduction to the breadth of specialist research competence that we have here at the staff at Noragric. And so I would like to echo the head of department and head of education in welcoming you, and also remind you that we might have many questions now. That's great. Keep noting them down, and we'll make sure to answer them as you go along. And welcome again. Thank you.
Thank you, Morten. Stig, would you like to say a few words about the Master of International Relations?
Indeed, I can. I would also like to welcome all of the students, and I'm really looking forward to have you here. As has been said before, one of the strengths of the Noragric is the diversity. It's a diversity of the student backgrounds, both when it comes to geographical locations where you're coming from, but also when it comes to your socioeconomic backgrounds, which is a strength because you hopefully will meet students with experiences, direct experience related to a lot of these questions that are discussed in the media today. Students from conflict zones, students with specific challenges. And one of the keys to understanding international relations is this clash of opinions, the plurality of opinions that you will meet and hopefully engage with when it comes to discussing in class. And indeed, the class participation is very important, and to have some challenges when you're actually discussing in class. A plurality of opinions is also very important to drive general intellectual discussion. And of course, one of the driving forces is the wish to understand, the wish to discover things in society that we have overlooked. And indeed, this is one of the driving forces behind the various programs here, and also the master program. The master program in international relations has an anniversary this year. It's 10 years old since it was formed as a cooperation between our department and the Norwegian Institute of Foreign Affairs, NUPI in Oslo. It is formed according to a British model with a big compulsory module and a lot of electives in addition to this compulsory module. It's basically consisting of compulsory research methods. You have to learn research methods. It's consisting of a compulsory class in international relations theory, which creates a foundation, and the introductory class that I'm going to have with you tomorrow. I'm looking really much forward to that. In addition to that, you have several electives, and I really recommend you to look into some of these electives. And one of the things that you should look into is probably the possibility you have to do an internship, for example. There is some really good internship agreements. There's also exchange agreements, although they are a little bit more hard to implement now because of the COVID-19 situation. You can study a variety of issues that you can relate to the topic that you are interested in, like feminist studies. You can study security studies, you can study religion and politics and global political economy, and a lot of other subject matters that you can divulge into. As with the rest of the department, the program is just based on research-led lecturing. So in the various modules, you draw upon staff that have been directly engaged in researching into some of the topics that you are being taught, basically. So it's very close to the research agenda. And that means that it's a kind of synergy in the discussions between the lecturers and the students. Not only are you going to learn, but we are also going to learn. I also want to highlight the master thesis itself as a learning experience. When you go through the modules, we are following you. When you go into the master thesis, you are more put in charge of controlling your own time and your own thoughts. So it leads to some kind of independence. It's scary for a lot of students, but it also gives you something when it comes to planning. It gives you something with when it comes to actually producing research. And indeed, in the past, we have managed to tie up several students to ongoing research programs. And some of the students have actually continued doing research afterwards. So we had former students working at Stanford, we have had former students working at Oxford, and we have several students that went into doing a PhD after our program. But the most important, I would say, is to remember the diversity and be aware and open to other opinions, and coming from a different setting than you are used to. So I'm really looking forward to see you tomorrow, 10:15 at the U238. I think that's all for now. Save your questions for tomorrow, and I will see you.
Thank you, Stig. Erik is the program leader for the Master in International Environment Studies. Welcome. Sorry, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Sorry, thank you. Hi everyone, I would like to warmly welcome you to the Master in International Environment Studies, which I am leading. My name is Erik Gomez-Bagetun, and I'm a professor in environmental governance at Noragric. Much has been said already by my colleagues, but let me tell you a few words about this master's program. I really look forward to meet you here, and I hope you will be you fall in love with this master program as I do myself, because I feel very passionate about it. We will be working, my colleagues already said it, but I should say it once more because it's maybe one of our most important characteristics is interdisciplinarity. We will be working very strongly across the social and the natural sciences, understanding which are the interactions between social and natural processes. We're very lucky to have a very diverse community of students coming from many different backgrounds and many different cultures, which makes this work, this task of working interdisciplinarity much easier and much more exciting. A key theme of the masters will be we will go through the main processes of environmental degradations, things like biodiversity loss, climate change, land degradation, etc. And we're very interested in that you develop skills not only to react to those kinds of problems, but to understand, to act also on the causes of these problems, which is maybe what we're not so good at in policy. We're always fixing, trying to make short-term fixes to these problems, but we want you to think big and to think how we can tackle these kind of problematics at a structural level. Themes that you will deal with in the masters include a very diverse set of topics. We have also here a structure where you have some core courses and some electives. So you have a very wide diversity of topics that you can choose. And important themes you will be working with include ecology, environmental science, political ecology, ecological economics, environmental governance. Unfortunately, we have people in the department working that are very strong researchers that are working at the forefront of these topics. And we're doing research-based education, and we're trying to update continuously our programs on the basis of the core themes, topics, and discussions that are happening at the frontier of these fields. When it comes to you, we have big expectations from you because we know from previous years that we get very strong students. And of course, we don't want you to be passive recipients of knowledge, but we want you to be strongly engaged in the program. We want you to be engaged in class, in discussions, but also in the community life of the university, and take initiative to organize seminars, to organize activities, and also to challenge the kind of materials and teaching we're doing, because we are constantly upgrading and updating our education programs on the basis of your feedback. So I have not much more to say right now, but I really look forward to see you. I will meet most of you online this week, and hopefully many of you face to face in 2-3 weeks. And I very warmly welcome you, and I look forward to our interaction in the next couple of years. Maybe one more thing I would like to say is, since time goes so quickly, use your time wisely. So start thinking from the beginning as you start reading. Try to fall in love with a topic, something where that you really feel you're burning for, and that you would like to sort of put a lot of passion on it, because you will be devoting a lot of time to this of the next couple of years. So start thinking from the very beginning as you read, as you discuss with your colleagues, and so on. And try to link this also around ideas of a master thesis, of possible internships, and so on. Thank you very much, and see you very soon.
Thank you, Erik. Now we've heard a little bit about the bachelor program and the 3 master's programs. And as Annette has mentioned in the chat, there'll be more information coming in the startup lectures. The next point on the program for the introduction day here is that our study advisors, that is Jørn Brevik and Annette, who I just mentioned, will say a few words about themselves and what they do. So welcome, Jørn. Perhaps you have to sit within the 1 meter, or we can move the mic.
Okay, yeah. Thanks. Hi everyone, and welcome to Noragric. It's nice to see so many of you, and it's a shame that we can't see you in person this year, but we really look forward to meeting you all. My name is Jørn, and I'm the study advisor for the bachelor's program. And I've been working with that program for about 2 years now. And I've been in contact with a lot of you already. And I know that you have a lot of questions regarding your education plan and so forth. And I'll have a meeting with you bachelor students on Thursday for a Q&A session. And I'll be happy to help you out then. Yeah.
Oh. Thanks a lot, Jørn. Jørn is perhaps the person that you'll be talking the most with over the next few years. His door is always open at the office, both the physical door and the digital door. So find his email, find his phone number, get in touch with Jørn, and he'll help out with almost anything. And we also have Annette, our other study advisor.
Hello, hey everybody. I'm repeating everybody else now by saying welcome and also congratulations to all of you. I mean, as I don't remember who mentioned it, but it has been a very competitive year this year. We have a record number of applicants to all of the programs, and we are very happy about that. So you made it, congrats and welcome. So my name is Annette, or as a Finnish person, I would say Annette, but you pronounce it as you wish. I've been working at NMBU and at Noragric for about 5 years. I started with the bachelor's programs actually, but now I'm coordinating the master's programs in all of the 3 master's programs in international relations, global development studies, and environmental studies. So welcome. You will hear a bit more about what the program is about and the details, the program structure, electives, internships, all of those details, either tomorrow or Wednesday when we have the program-wise sessions. You have those in details on Canvas, so you can see when you can meet me, so you can ask all the questions that you might have now, tomorrow and Wednesday. I mean, normally you would find me in a Noragric building in Tivoli, but because of COVID, you won't. I will also be one of those working mostly from my home office. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me, call me, Zoom me, so we can figure it out, whatever questions you might have, and hopefully I'll get to meet you in person also as soon as the situation allows it. So I'm very much looking forward to working with you, and see you soon.
Thank you, Annette and Jørn. That was very good that you were introduced to the students. The next part of the program now is that we'll have a few words from representatives of what we call the student democracy at NMBU, and from the International Students Union in Norway, and from our organization Globalis. And the first one out on the program is Jens Bartnes, who is leader of the Faculty Student Council. So the floor is yours, Jens.
Maybe Christopher can go first, because it's a bit noisy here right now.
All right, Christopher.
All right. Well, yeah, that's interesting. Welcome everyone. I'm the president of ISU. I'm also a master's student in international environmental studies. I'm here to introduce you to ISU, which is an independent, democratic, nonprofit, nonpartisan organization run for and by international students. So it's a social organization, but also it's political. There's another international organization here called ESN, which is more social and focused on travel. But ISU was formed in the 70s by student activists to protect the welfare and the academic situation for international students, and it still is very focused on protecting student rights. It's a partner with the Norwegian student organization, NSO, which is what the student parliaments in the campuses are part of. And so nationally, they work together, and it's this partnership that allows for Norway to be one of the only countries in the world that doesn't charge tuition fees for international students, which, it's great for us not to pay international tuition fees, but it also results in the student environment in Norway being extremely unique. It's one in which, the local students and international students pay the same fees, which is basically nothing. And it results in the fact that international students here are academically driven people from around the world, which cuts across geography and economic class. So like as Stig was saying, you get a plurality of opinions here. It occurs here that is unlike anywhere else really in the world these days. So it's extremely unique opportunity to study here because of the rights that ISU and NSO work together to protect, because there are, capitalism works hard to push against those things. So there's this wall that protects this very unique study environment, and so it's something that I hope every one of you will look into and try and just at least acknowledge this organization, because it's important. And if any of you are interested in participating, we're going to have elections in September, so we would like to have people who are interested in that mission. And I think 20% approximately of the 5,000 students here at NMBU are international students. Like was said before, like 40 something countries are represented here. So that's 1,000 students. And by being an international student, you're automatically a member of ISU. So, so I hope to get to know you, and I hope we can have some face-to-face meetings, but if not, we'll try and have some sort of online social gathering, however we can do that. Yeah, look forward to it. So good luck with your starting of classes tomorrow, I guess. And yeah, it's nice to be able to do this introduction.
Thank you, Chris. That was a nice welcome to a part of the students' world. It's an excellent study environment here at NMBU, so I know that all the new students will meet a lot of good people to include them in the social and political activities. And Jens, I don't know if
Yeah, I think they're upgrading the internet in my building, so it might be a bit noisy, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, hello everyone, welcome to NBU. I'm Jens, I'm the leader of the student council at Langsam, which is the faculty which Noragric is a part of. Congratulations on your studies at Noragric. As we already heard, there's been a lot of competition this year, and you're all very lucky that you get to study as part of this unique environment. We all know that it's going to be a bit different this semester from what we normally do, with more digital teaching and not all students that are here at campus. But I'm hoping that we all get to know each other, and that you still get a lot of learning outcome from the program that you're all part of. I know that the staff and the professors are working hard to give you the best education that they can with these digital solutions. So I'm looking forward to see how it goes. Yeah, as leader of the student council, I'm working together with the staff at the faculty to ensure that the students' interests are always being heard when there are decisions that are being made. According to the Norwegian law, there has to be at least 20% of every decision-making body at the university has to be students. So every fall and spring, we elect students to participate in different committees, like the education committee or the research committee or the appointment committee, which makes sure that the students' voices are being heard when decisions are made that will affect our time here at NMBU. And for example, the appointment committee is the committee that appoints new professors. So students are there to make sure that good professors are being hired that will be good educators and researchers as well. And I know that both the professors and the staff in the committee and the students there are doing a very good job. So yeah. We also have in the student council, we have representatives from all the different classes at the faculty. I will be coming to see all of you in your introduction courses to elect the representatives from all the different courses, which will be part of the student council for the years that you're here. And we also have student representatives in the program councils, which are working to improve the different courses that you're taking in your programs, to make sure that if students have any requests or things they're not satisfied about in the different courses, that the student voices are being heard there. Yeah, I mean, I've already gotten to know some of you this weekend, and I'm looking forward to get to meet more of you the coming week. I know that a lot of people are still not at campus, and I'm hoping that I will get to know as many of you as possible. And if you have any things you're not satisfied about that you want the student democracy to take care of, please send me a message on Facebook or send me an email. I also have a little thing from Globalis. Tilde, the leader of Globalis, our student union, she was not able to come, but she told me to say hello to everyone. The student union, Globalis, is not part of the student democracy, but they're putting up social events and academic events and job-related events for the students at Noragric. So if you're interested in these events, you could find Globalis at Instagram or Facebook, and you can become a member and come and visit the events, to get to know more students from other courses at Noragric, and yeah, learn to know new people. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have. I'm looking forward to see you all when I come and visit you in your introduction courses. Thank you.
Thank you, Jens, and thanks also for presenting Globalis. Could I ask you to say one or two words about the Buddy Week?
The Buddy Week, yeah, for everyone who's present at campus, the Buddy Week is the introduction week for new students, where you there's a lot of social events going on, some parties and events where you get to know new people from your class, from other classes, and you get to know us, you get to know campus, you get a lot of the non-academic introduction to us and to NMBU. So we're divided in groups of 20 students, so we're according to the Corona restrictions, and we're trying to have fun and get to know each other, even though we can't do it in the way that we normally do, but we still have parties and interesting events. So for everyone who's in Ås or in the area nearby, I'm hoping that you participate as much as you can in the events that we've put up.
Thanks a lot, Jens. Well, so with that, thanks for a very, very nice opening ceremony. We look forward to see you all in class tomorrow.
Thank you.
With that, goodbye. Meeting's ended. See you soon.